For this video I will be returning to www.realmhistory.com's website. Real History as a primary literary source submitted a book written by an Arab in the Islamic Golden Age, a book which he recognizes and promotes as being authentic, untampered, and unadulterated. The author's name is Al-Jawat. He lived from 776 to 800 AD, and wrote a treatise on the superiority of the black peoples over the whites. Whether he truly believed that which he wrote is not known. Some suspect it was written to obtain the favor of a black people named the Zaj. If the white man is truly the devil, a devil who whitewashes everything, and allegedly edits every text known to man, why did he not edit, and/or destroy such a text as this? A text so explicit in uplifting blacks, and degrading whites. In this treatise Al-Jawat was kind enough to identify the black, as well as the white nations of his time. Please listen carefully as I will now read an excerpts from the book. Negro soldiers. On this occasion the Zaj fought you, whites, in spite of your rage. Warwick defended you with his Persians, whilst the Ethiopian general commanded in the midst of destruction. It was then the women of your race were enjoyed by a Negro, whose phallus was the size of a donkey's. The black horses are most beautiful and most robust, the black cows best and most beautiful, and their skins are most valuable, most useful and most durable. The black ewes give the fattiest milk and creamy, moreover the dark brown ewes give more milk than the russet red ewes. While every stone and hill is drier and harder the more it is black. The black lion is invincible. The black date is the highest quality. Healthy date palms have black stems. A hadith of the Prophet says, follow the great black color. The Zaj also say, the black stone is from paradise. The darker a piece of copper the more it is worth. To those who despise the color black, we would reply that the excessive lanky, thin, and reddish hair of the Franks, Greeks, and Slavs, the redness of their locks and beards, the whiteness of their eyelashes, are uglier and more loathsome. There are no albinos among blacks, but only among you. And if he, Muhammad, said, I was sent to the ruddy, Al-Ahmar, and the dark-skinned, Al-Aswad, then in his view we are neither ruddy nor light-skinned, bid, so he was sent to us. Indeed, his use of the dark-skinned refers to us, as the people, of our community, are in one of these categories, i.e. either ruddy or dark-skinned. Therefore, if the Arabs are ruddy, then they belong to the Byzantines, Rum, slaves, Saculaba, Persians and Cuirassiers. But if they belong to the dark-skinned peoples, then they are a subcategory of our stock. The Negroes also have the sweetest breath and the greatest amount of saliva, being in this respect like the dog as compared with other animals. The Zaj say, black delights the eye. When the eyes hurt, a common prescription is sitting in the dark with a rag over the eyes. Good eyesight is the most precious thing for a person. They say, the blacks are more numerous than the whites. The whites at most consist of the people of Persia, Gibel, and Curaçao, the Greeks, Slavs, Franks, and Avars, and some few others, not very numerous. The blacks include the Zaj, Ethiopians, the people of Fazar, the Berbers, the Copts, and Nubians, the people of Zaghawa, Malwa, Sid and India, Qamar and Dabila, China, and Mazai. The islands in the seas between China and Africa are full of blacks, such as Ceylon, Kala, Amal, Zabij, and their islands, as far as India, China, Kabul, and those shores. They say, Alishtir the blind man used to say, there are more blacks than whites, more rocks than mud, more sand than soil, more salt water than sweet water. Let me repeat. The whites at most consist of the people of Persia, Gibel, and Curacao, the Greeks, Slavs, Franks, and Avars, and some few others, not very numerous. The Greeks, Slavs, Franks. The Greeks, Slavs, Franks. Let me emphasize, this book was written in AD 800, a time when the whites had not reached the Americas, the Australian continent, or even begun the Crusades, so in comparing territories color-wise, ours most likely was not the largest. Though the website author uses this book to further promote his Afrocentric ideology, it contradicts another of his views, the view that the Franks and Byzantines were black. The Black Hebrews too share this, but this text ultimately refutes such a belief. Why would a book promoting the black races, and calling the white race inferior, name a great race white, if they were in fact black? People who doctor their genealogies in order to make themselves appear of good stock profess a man who was strong, powerful, wise, courageous, and noble. Not base, inferior, weak, and ignoble. This is common sense. Had they have been black, then the author would have written so, and not degraded them for being white. Anyone with brain cells will be able to conclude that the Franks, the Byzantines, generally speaking, Europe, save the Iberian Peninsula, which at the author's time had already been invaded by the Berbers, a black people as recorded here in this book, were white.